For hundreds of years, life in certain parts of America revolved around huge plantation houses like this one that belonged to a handful of rich and powerful families. In fact, some important American presidents, including George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, were plantation owners. Plantations were basically large farms where crops such as tobacco, cotton, or sugarcane were raised, and where most of the work was done by slaves who lived on the grounds of the plantation. Plantations were a feature of warm southern places like Virginia and the Carolinas, and those who lived on them followed a way of life that was quite different from people in the colder, more industrialized North. In fact, by 1861, these differences contributed to the Civil War between the northern and southern states. To understand the plantation way of life and its role in American history, it is helpful to go back to where it all began, to Jamestown in Virginia, America's first English colony. The Jamestown colony was founded on a patch of swampy land near the banks of the James River, and it was here, at this remote outpost, that the first American plantations began to take shape nearly 400 years ago. The roots of the plantation system can be traced as far back as the earliest Jamestown colonists, in particular those who came from wealthy upper-class families. Many of these men had grown up on English country estates in comfortable houses where a person's social class made all the difference in the world. Upper-class families who owned estates like the one seen here were never expected to work with their hands, since such work was considered to be a strictly lower-class thing to do. In fact, all hard work on such estates was done by servants and tenant farmers. So naturally, when wealthy Englishmen started plantations in Virginia, what they really wanted to do was to copy as many of their grand old ways as possible. But it took many generations to achieve their goals because not all old English ways of doing things worked that well in America. In fact, Jamestown itself nearly failed due to disease, famine, and native attacks. But after a new strain of tobacco from South America started to be planted, plantations thrived as more and more people in Europe grew addicted to tobacco smoking. The big cotton plantations didn't start appearing until after the year 1793, following the invention of the cotton gin, a machine that mechanically removed the cotton seeds from its fibers. But after this machine came into widespread use, cotton rapidly developed into the main business of the southern United States. In fact, by 1860, southern plantations were producing 90% of the world's cotton.